thank you for joining me. March 1st this morning. Meteorologist Hunter Ward here giving you an update on the weather coming up. Pretty clear skies here for the next several days. Looks like through Sunday around western North Carolina, but then that rainfall is going to return next week. So let's go ahead and turn around to my screen. I want to thank Red Wolf Contracting Services, CP Cruising Company, and Time to Travel. Those are my trusted sponsors there, so give them a shout out for all your needs. Time to Travel, she is a travel agency. They specialize in sandals, resorts. CP Cruising Company can handle all your accounting needs. Red Wolf Contracting Services can handle all your roofing problems, and re-roofing. Matt can handle it. So looking around town, we had a little bit of problem yesterday on the Grimes-Tice-Anderson camera, but it looks like it's cleared up and beautiful today around Asheville and in and around BannerElk.com camera. Really pretty Grandfather Mountain back there. Just looking around town, all of that live camera. Starting the farm over there. They've got plenty of veggies going. Cabbage Rose camera here out in Maggie Valley. Let's see, Haywood County Farm Bureau insurance camera up Dutch Cove. Just beautiful around the area. And there's your downtown Canton camera. Ready to sell, Better Homes and Garden Real Estate. And then your Lynn Freeman Bush Hendersonville camera as well. Beautiful shot down there of Hendersonville. So this is going to be a rinse, wash, repeat type cycle here for the next week or so, and then we're going to get back into a more rainy pattern, it looks like, around western North Carolina. Let's go ahead and turn around to the GFS model. Got that pulled up on my screen. Let me just scroll down just a little bit, and then we'll show you. You can see that high pressure builds in for the next several days. Somewhat mild conditions, a little bit of low pressure that develops as well, but nothing too significant there. As you can see, no real indication of precipitation moving in. Then Monday, it looks like we're going to have a front that develops, and then the Gulf kind of opens up into next week, and rainfall looks to move through similar to what we saw this past week. We could see kind of a repeat of that with a low down here and kind of a zone of truncation, or a zone where low different pressures are meeting. So that's kind of what we're going to have here across the south, it looks like, into next week. So a little bit far out for these models, but something to kind of watch for with that Gulf opening up. It looks to be more of a rainfall scenario next week compared to these clear skies that we're going to see this week. Good time to get your spring garden started if you've got the opportunity this weekend. Get those frost-tolerant plants in the ground, the potatoes, your onions. You can put Brussels sprouts in the ground, broccoli, several things you can go ahead and plant for WNC gardeners, but they need to be frost-tolerant. We're not out of that until a lot of people don't like to plant until mid-May, things like tomatoes, squashes, stuff that will get zapped by the frost. And, it kind of depends on exactly where you live around western North Carolina. I know where I live around the river, we get real late frost, and I'll drive, a mile or two away from the river, and the frost just doesn't seem to happen. So, those are type things you got to consider, and giving you a little bit of insight on gardening, because I am a gardener as well, and have plans to start my spring garden. So you can see the GFS showing, just that low ejecting. This is what's going to bring our weather later, probably around this time next week, and late Sunday and into Monday, this real strong front's going to develop, and it looks like it could move into western North Carolina sometime late Monday. So we'll have to watch for that. Some idea of a severe threat, but it's still pretty far out to nail that down. Let's look at your European model as well. This will give you a good idea kind of what both models are showing. So the European model shows, clear skies throughout the whole week as well. Pretty good consensus of clear skies throughout the rest of the week and even into the weekend. looking for clear skies throughout western North Carolina. A little bit quicker with that front is the European model, ejecting out of the Rockies. And then you can see that low pressure opening up, and you can see that down here, but it has another dominant low that develops and kind of takes the system with it, and doesn't bring us as much rain, but still showing the Gulf open in the long range. So I think that rainier conditions will be on tap for us. So if you've got things that you want to do this week, you're contemplating doing them this week compared to next week, this week is going to be the clearer week for you to get out, do anything that you need to do gardening wise. Next week looks to be somewhat nasty, so if I were you, I'd get plants in the ground, get those bulbs in the ground that you need. You probably should already have your bulbs in the ground, but it looks like we're going to transition to a little bit warmer pattern, and I don't really see too much cold here as far as moving forward. Low temperatures getting in the 30s and even dropping into the upper 20s in some isolated locations with those frost occurring, but nothing in the teens, nothing too significant as far as winter weather wise either. Just looking at some rainfall here in the next 10 days, so somewhat boring weather for those winter weather lovers, which we're not out of the woods yet, but we are. This pattern kind of lends to limited snowfall, and if we were to get some type of snowfall event now, it would really struggle to accumulate unless it was a real strong storm. So, moving forward, we'll watch for those instances, but, it's pretty safe to go ahead and plant your spring gardens around western North Carolina. Unless you live in those real high elevation locations, you might want to hold off a couple weeks on that. But looking forward, beautiful week, beautiful weekend ahead. So get out, enjoy it, and prepare next week for rainier conditions to arrive. Check back with me soon. We'll have another update and keep you in the know. Thanks.